welcome to Space Engineers. This is a quick video to highlight the finishing of the fighter for Blue Smoke round the round and round we go on Pertam. When we ended our last video, the rear end of this ship just really was not inspiring. So I said I would redo it. And the first thing I did was to look at the ship and decide that maybe giving it some variation in its shape would give us, even if the shape was close, maybe the shape would be more interesting as opposed to leaving it flat. Like we did put the ribs in it on stream. So here we're going to even that up. Giving us a nice variation to the shape. We also fill in all the gaps as we go so that it's more solid in case of combat. Or, well, not in case of that, because the whole point of this ship is combat. But, so when combat happens, it is more... There's more things to explode, basically. And after all, the more sheltered you can put your critical components, thrusters, batteries, gyros, etc., the longer your combat vessel will fly, which is the important part. Now we have ridges. Now what are we going to do about this giant flat area? That's the real question, right? Because it just looks like a big blue box on the back. And we can't have just a big blue box. That looks weird. This doesn't look weird. It just doesn't look interesting. So we use the ribs on the sides. Let's try using some ribs in the back to give it some visual interest. Recording has a few missing frames for whatever reason. Alright, how do we fix this overhang? Maybe if we just shallow this up all the way, we can get where we need it to be. Yeah, it looks okay. Alright, now let's mirror it. Nice when you know exactly what you need to mirror. welding small grid is so simple since it's all one block, all one piece of steel plate, so it goes fast. Now I thought I could do this bottom opposite of how we did the top, and it would have been visually interesting. And I have that Tetris shape that everyone knows, but it would have looked weird with the thrusters, which there's some irony here on that situation. So we will give you that little bit of foreshadowing. Now our top and bottoms are identical. And it's successfully mirrored. Alright. We gave it some more shape, but it's still begging for something else, right? I mean, it's neat, but it's not the way it could be. So, I have an idea. Let's move that top and bottom motors into the center of those crosses. Why I did them individually like this, I will never know. Editor me finds that particular bit of play baffling, because it would have been so much faster just to cut both out and then put both thrusters in at once. Alright, now what do we do with the single engine? We could put things on to make it match, but that doesn't go what we want. This makes it look the same. Again, back would be very square. The point of this is to get square out of here. So, let's bring the back out that much further. Top and bottom, now let's do it left and right. At least I thought how to do this one without doing every which way. Well, maybe I'm wrong. Welding all four of those at once would have been a lot faster, player me. Now we gotta move that engine, or that thruster, I mean, all the way up here to us. That gives us a really interesting rear end. It's no longer square. It gives us a nice, I don't know about nice, but it gives us a fairly unique shape. Now, let's finish the grown-up. When we test flew it, it did not have enough side-to-side thrust. It just kind of fell out of the sky anytime we turned it sideways. So We'll start off by giving it some extra side thrust so that it can stay in the air better in combat. And we do know that it was a thruster issue, not a battery issue, because we never lost control of it. If it had been a battery issue, if there had been a lack of power, we would have known, because there would have been... we would have lost control first. I filled all this in with steel plate. Unfortunately, later I'd realized that I would have to punch a bunch of this out, put some extra batteries in, and put in a few of the AI modules that I had forgotten. Of course, I cut all that out, but I can tell you it happened. Probably shouldn't, but I can tell you it happened. Right here, this ship looks like a Superman emblem, and I'll put one in here for you. I realized I needed a timer to be able to release the drone. So, put that in. I mean, I could release the drone manually, but having a timer to do the entire process all at once, way faster and better. Take all these merge blocks, take the merge blocks on the bottom of the fighter, put them in a nice group. That way when we use the timer, we don't have to worry about tracking down the individual merge blocks. Now, go into our timer block. Not the most unique name, but it got the point across. This timer block releases the drone from underneath. Later on, I'm going to completely redo this, so it was kind of a moot point at this point. It was just good to test to see if it worked. And if it works, this drone will fall right off. As soon as I remember to put it on my bar. Three, two, one. Ta-da! It works! Now, these drones are made to be disposable, but they can be redocked. Now let's program the AI. First, AI Basic. I tried really hard to get it to follow its own ship, but for the life of me, this just did not work. So I ended up telling it to follow player. And by having it follow me, it still works just fine. I was trying to get it to where it would follow the ship even if I got out of the ship, but no such luck. So let's check AI flight next. Set the speed limit. It is a fighter, so it has to be able to boogie. Did I really only set it to 76? Surely I went back in and changed that. If I didn't change that above 76, I will have to change it to faster. No, we want it pitch. We know this thing can stand on its head either direction. Up or down, it doesn't have any trouble. Roll, on the other hand, even with those extra thrusters, I don't trust it. Now, AI basic. We already did this one. Why did I come back? Oh, I know why I came back in here. I was confused on whether or not I'd already set up some of these settings in basic as opposed to AI flight. And it is a combat vessel, so I set it up higher than I probably should have, because I ended up having to lower this to 250 instead of the 750 it starts at here. I set up a timer block for the AI defense block so that when it detects an enemy, it triggers the AI attack block and turns off the AI defense block. And then I set the AI defense block to trigger that timer whenever it detected an enemy. When you do it this way, you don't have to worry about flee or anything because you've turned off the defense block, so it won't try to flee, it will just go attack. Which is the next thing we set up. We set it to attack enemies. We tell it to attack the smallest first. Tell it to shoot weapons. Circle orbit works best. Basically, it keeps the nose at the enemies, which is good. It's only got GATs, so 100 meters is probably fine. And like I said, it has GATs. And now you've seen how I set up all of the AI modules. Oh, there, I raised the speed limit back up. Told you it needed done. After all, it is a fighter. Go in and double check the rest of my settings. Align to planet gravity there, that box checked. Keeps it level-ish. So that makes things easier so it doesn't align to, or it doesn't try to flip upside down, since we didn't give it hardly any upside down thrust. Now we gotta set up the timer block to work with all of our AI now. So we set it up to turn each block on, well, each of the 3 on, and then each of the AIs on. Remember, AI attack gets turned on by AI defense. As you can see, I'm trying to remember this as I did it, because this isn't something you do in every playthrough. You can go 3 or 4 playthroughs without setting up these AI blocks. Fortunately, there's a couple of really good tutorials out there on how to do this. And you're not limited to mine. Because this is only half of how you would normally set one of these up. I am setting this up to be a drop it and forget it drone, not a come home drone. Again, I'm planning on this being completely disposable. Now I put the release blocks, the merge and connector on a separate bar, so that all the commands on the first bar would run entirely before it switched to the second bar and started doing those options. Basically ensuring that the AI would be fully turned on before it dropped. Now let's go test the AI. Oops, not quite. Now let's go test the AI. First things first, we drop it. Then we fly up away from it. Check it. Fly away a bit. Look to see that it's not falling. Everything looks good. Alright, let's fly away. Let's see if it follows me. And there it is. It's following me. Here it comes. Ta-da! We made a drone that follows us. No enemies on the scope, or I would have taken it out and seen if it worked against enemies. Now some finishing touches. A couple of searchlights just so I can see the enemies. Not that it'll help much, but at least they'll be highlighted so that it gives me a better chance of seeing it, right? Some headlights to see in dust storms and dark. If we have the sleep mod, there's going to be times when I'm flying in the dark. Second camera, this one in the front, right between the guns, so I can zoom and snipe better. And let's give it a name. I think Double Trouble, because technically it's 2 ships in one. One last thing to put in here, a projector. That way, when our drone does blow up, we have it all set up so that all we have to do is turn the projector on and weld up the drone exactly as if it never left home. Close up the hole. line up the projection, which always takes me longer than it should. Oh, sorry, set up the, pick the projection out of the list first. And if you're going to use one this way, don't forget to mark heat projection. Now, again, mess with each of the offsets 47 times until you find the one that gets it all lined up. At least for me, it does. Can't tell which way to roll it, which way to yaw it, which way to pitch it for half an hour, it seems like. Which way is up? Which way is down? I can't tell. Yes, I'm making fun of myself. Oh look, there's the connector. Alright, so this one goes the wrong direction. Wrong direction, wrong direction. That one looks like probably the right direction. Let's raise it up and down so we can see what we're seeing. Oh, look, the connector's on top. Went the wrong way. There we go. Now, spin it around so that the front's toward the front. Try to line this baby up. Ta-da! Oops. Yep, ta-da! There we go. And here it is docked. Looks pretty sharp, actually. I couldn't resist the shot with the meteors falling behind it. Here we are from the side with the drone detached. Kind of gives it a nifty little L shape. Here's another close-up view with the drone attached. Well, I should have done that without the solar panel behind it. Here again is the other side with the drone still attached. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Join me on Tuesdays and Thursdays from noon until 3:30. As always, I am the Blind Gaming Guy.